afternoon, this is Beth Brown coming to you from Griffin Art, deep in the heart of West Texas. I have been making excuses as to why I haven't made videos here in the new year. And the best thing that I can think of is just because I haven't. I have small children. I have a husband who's very hardworking and a wonderful man, the love of my life. And things get out of hand. So, that said, I'm working on a couple of things. First of all is video blogging. Every video doesn't have to be a video about making something or showing a product or whatever else. Some of it can just be video blog. And I have decided to call it Art Chew, as in chew the fat, have a cup of coffee. Come, sit with me. Let's just go over a couple of things. So I hope to do this weekly. And I was making it harder than it needed to be. I have a camera, as you can tell, built right into the computer. It didn't even dawn on me to take advantage of all of the good things that my computer offers. Pardon this sort of papers and things laid out in the background. You can see there, back there. My other table, mirrors me, and I'm trying to figure out which way it goes. My table that's got my papers and things I'm working on, and then I have some stuff right here in front of me that you can't see. So I thought the first thing that I would talk about a little bit is some of the stuff that I've been using lately. The main projects I've been working on are art journaling. There have been a lot of things happening over this first month of the year. I did a lot of art journaling for David Bowie, someone who is important to me. I'm a big fan of classic rock. It was a deep connection between my father and I, and so that was a way to get out some of the, not really sad, I mean, I didn't know the man, but just, kind of bummed outness, is that a word? I don't know, that his creativity has gone somewhere else now, but what a library of genius he left us. And so I did a lot with that. I've been experimenting what different pages do, different paper types, and different journals. As far as products, I haven't really launched out to anything new because I was trying to control myself a little bit with what I had bought and, watch the pocketbook, be responsible, use the stuff you've got. But I did pick up a few new things here and there over the last couple of weeks. One of the things I've really liked is the Catalyst tool. It's nice and heavy. It's thicker on this side than the other side. Thin, and I suppose you could use the thick side, but it's more for gripping. This says it's a W06. I don't know what that means, but it's a Catalyst tool, and I apply paint here on the thin side and will swipe and move. I've seen a lot of the people that I enjoy watching using that. Oh, look, there's Dante. He's 14. He doesn't do a whole lot. Yeah, we like him. We keep him around. He's a good guy. What else? I found some other Catalyst tools while I was traveling over Thanksgiving. I don't know if I can find them in my art bin, but they look pretty much like that one, but smaller. Here they are. I scored these guys for 99 cents. One's got this rounded tip action, and this one is more angled, and then it's got a smaller little angle here. And again, they're thick on the other end for easy gripping. These have been really nice. They're not as rubbery as this one. This one's got a more rubbery, flexible texture. These are kind of stiff. And probably, actually, these are for other mediums, either your thicker paints, heavier things. This works really nicely with acrylics. So those have been good finds. What else do I have that's sort of new? Oh, I did invest in some of, and it's gonna look backwards because I'm using the computer. But these are the Derwent Inktense. Oh, it doesn't look backwards. Well, what do you know? We're learning stuff today. Anyway, these are the Derwent Inktense pencils. I did learn recently. I have a tendency to call them watercolor, and they're not. They're ink. I learned that from Sean Petit, who has a wonderful YouTube channel. Check her out. She's great. What else? Today I used toilet paper rolls for stamping. I made a flower, and this was the center. This one was the center, and this was my leaf petals. I just kind of did that all the way around. I'm really enjoying, and I was a scrapbooker a long time ago, and I never invested in decent writing tools then. I have a thing for them now. I love Sakura's Pigma Microns. I like the Elegant Writers. Cece has and Heather at the Craft Shack and Cece at Creation Cece. They've been wonderfully helpful in explaining how to use the Elegant Writer. And Cece even has a class about it. It's great. Go check that out. I'm hoping to take it this year myself. But investing in good writing tools and things that would write on top of paint. I didn't always want to use a Sharpie. And sometimes you want to write before you seal it with Spectrafix or acrylic sealant or whatever. The Jelly Roll pens, also by Sakura. These are fantastic. They flow smoothly on top of paint. They flow smoothly on top of just paper. They're lovely for doodling or lettering. I have really enjoyed these. I've got to get in the habit of looking at the camera and not at myself. Another thing that I found was the, I think this is the Feud, or it's all in Japanese. Yeah. Yeah, it's all in Japanese and currently leaking all over my hand. That's okay. I ordered this on Amazon. It's got a nice brush tip that's fairly thick. If I can get the lid off, take a look at that there in the light. I've enjoyed piddling with that a little bit, and it seems to be permanent. Some type of India ink in there. Let me grab a wipe. Here, clean my hands off. That's been fun to kind of play with. Mostly just in art journal. I haven't used that on canvas or any other sort of substrate, wood or anything like that. So that's been kind of fun. Wow, I just made a huge mess. Be careful with that. Oh, whatever. What other new products? I picked up a little, this was on sale at Hobby Lobby. This is a World Traveler 6x6 paper pad. It's got 24 sheets of double-sided cardstock designs, and they're extremely cool. I like them a lot. Boy, maybe I should move the light. Cool stuff in there. I like those. So I'll be using that somewhere. Projects. I love Pinterest. I find tons of stuff there. I saw people who are making some altered books, and my children and I have done a little purging in their bedrooms, as I'm sure anybody with kids knows that stuff can get out of hand really quickly. So I took some of their old board books, ones that they didn't read anymore, ones that were too young even for the 4-year-old, almost 4-year-old. And here's what it looks like in the back. And it's got these little flaps that pop out like this. So I decided to alter it. This is what, and I'm working on it a little at a time. This is the front. I've got some papers and a stencil there. Here's the inside, and here's the flappy. And I covered inside the flappy. And I started using, oh, and there's the next page. That's just as far as I am. It takes a little bit of measuring, a little bit of time, but I think it's going to be cool once I finish it. I'm thinking of filling it with things that I want to tell my daughter and saving it for her as maybe a graduation present or a 8th grade graduation or something like that. And I have a couple of the little guys, the little books from Chick-fil-A. We used to get these in the kids' meals. And so I'm going to cover these. I started covering these when I was working on them. I use Golden's Fluid Matte Medium. And this didn't work so great. I was getting lots of wrinkles. It didn't dry very quickly. I was missing spots. And so I switched over to a gel medium for that. I have golden here just because that's what I had on hand. I don't have much left. It's almost gone. But this worked much better, and it helped on with the children's book to use a thicker paper, something that was really saturated with color or pattern, so that none of the images from underneath would bleed up. So I wasn't getting, pictures of baby duckies coming through on my paper. I hope that turns out well because I like it. It's going to be fun. Let me get a drink. And let me just say, my Vintage Loves cup, I bought this for $0.25 at the churchyard sale. My dad used to use one of these when I was a kid. And they had a deal. I remember they had a promotion where you could bring it into the store and fill it up for $0.25 if you bought the cup or whatever. Anyway, when I saw this at the garage sale, I was like, I have to have that. That looks like my childhood home. And it's filled with black coconut tea from Pure Water Ice and Tea, which is lovely. And it's going to be my summertime jam, I'm telling you. Okay, that's good. Tasty, tasty. Okay, what else? Other projects. This piece I did today. My friends over at the Craft Shack often post videos and they share their journey so graciously with people. And I watched one that had been posted this week by Heather. She's great. She's become a good friend, a good sounding board. She's practical and funny and all those things you look for in an art journey that I look for in my art journey. And she was doing a flip through of some of her journals, and I took a cue from that, and I grabbed my junk journal and did a painting over a background that I had just slopped paint on, cleaned brushes, and done things like that. And here's what I came up with. I think that's pretty fantastic. The colors, for whatever reason, they just work together. I keep trying to look at myself and get it straight, but whatever. I doodled around the edges with the white Jelly Roll. I left some pieces in the corners open because I didn't want the whole thing to be black, but that was just acrylic paint that I had cleaned off brushes and scrapers and different things. That's what I used the toilet paper rolls for. A tip that I got from somebody in Donna Downey's Artist Gang last year. I will look that up and make sure that video is in the links, but how to make the flower. And I thought that was fantastic. And it turned out really well. The black paint is simple Apple Barrel brand. That's available at Walmart. And I really like this stuff. It covered well. It's nice and smooth. And I have this habit, and I know I said this in the other video that's up. I have this habit though of thinking that every piece needs to say something. Like I have to have words on there, but I may resist that. This is my smush journal. I may just leave it as it is. I quite like it. And if I did add something, it would be up in this empty space here. So I'll think about it. I may come across a stamp or something later that would be just right for it. So I'll let it simmer. We'll think about it. The other journal that I work in quite a bit is a Canson mixed media journal. It's spiral bound. And I have a confession. When I first bought this journal, I did not like it. I thought, this is what I get for buying a cheap journal, cheap paper that won't dry, and I was a brat. I was a total brat about this journal. I told people to stay away from it for at least a good month. And then I thought, I have it. I'm being unreasonable. I don't have to do a whole lot to it. Just work in it. See where it goes. I may never use anything else now. Canson, call me. Love ya. You're the best. I love this little journal. I mentioned Sean Petit earlier. She's got a great tutorial about how to alter the cover. And this is what my cover turned out to look like. Hers is way better. I just gotta say, hers is way better. But I like this. And it's mine. And it's personal. This is just my place to unleash. The paper is perforated here along the spine. So you can tear pages out if you need. The paper is a good quality cardstock. Unfortunately, I covered the cover I may have another one. Oh, haha, I did. It is 98 pound. And the size is 7 by 10. So it's a nice size for me. This is what it looks like uncovered. Available at Walmart. I think I got mine at Hobby Lobby because I had a coupon. I know that Michael's carries it too, and my local art supply store carries most Canson products also. All of this stuff is available on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, you might want to take advantage of that. I do frequently. Anyway, and I've really liked it. I have really liked it. And I don't know exactly when the point when my mind changed. I can flip through, and this, I'm not going to do a flip through, but I can tell the point where my mind changed on the pages, according to the pages in the book, because I started just going all in and doing more and not being afraid. Let's see. No. Where's one I can show you? Maybe one that I did a video on. Oh, the first video that I ever did that doesn't have any talking was this page. And it's still one of my very favorites. That's a Donna Downey stencil. The rest of it was all me. But this paper took the gesso, it took the paint, it took the glue, it has stayed sturdy, dried well. I use a product called Dorland's Wax, which is not in my immediate viewing area. Where is it? It's just a little, this is not it, but it's just a little container about like this. Recommended by several people, and I seal the pages with it. That way they don't stick together when I'm done. When you're done and it's dry, you just give it a little wax with the dry rag. I keep a separate rag for waxing. It's this one. I like the way the Dorland's Wax smells. It kind of smells like the post office, you know? I'm bizarre. Whatever. Anyway, it smells good. And I just give it a little, a little bit goes a long way. Put it over your pages. It gives them a nice feel. Leave it open, let it cure overnight, and your pages don't stick together. I will show you maybe one more thing. The last one I did in here was this page. Again, inspired by Sean Petit. I try not to directly copy. Sometimes it winds up a direct copy. I try not to do that, but those pieces are not pieces I ever sell. Those are not pieces I even necessarily give away. Those are pieces in my art journal. Those are from me. If it's something that I'm going to sell, it needs to be original. That's just my thought. Take the techniques that you learned from other people and try something new. You never know what you're going to come up with. That's the fun part of doing stuff like this. And that's the fun part of working in an art journal. So this was the most recent page I finished. I'm going to get it straight one of these days. And you can see my A is backward. I didn't even care. No. These flowers I cut out of some 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. And the leaves were on a different sheet. I glued them on. That's book text underneath from a couple of old dictionaries that I keep around for that purpose. And I outlined in charcoal with a charcoal pencil and just kind of smudged it with my hand. And I loved it. I love this. I love the color. I love the backward A for whatever reason. That suits me perfectly. That's what happens to me. Oh, we're at 20 minutes. I'm going to give myself 5 more minutes and then stop. What else? I enrolled in Donna Downey's Inspiration Wednesday for this year. Here's my inspiration journal. Those pages are in there. That's been a lot of fun. I'm going to a workshop of hers in April, at the end of April in North Carolina, and I'm incredibly excited to go. We're going to spend 3 days painting, learning. I think we're making our own journals when we're there. It's going to be great. Looking forward to that. I also work in the Dilutions 8x8 black journal. I try to keep this one fairly flat and not full of molding paste and chunky textures. I don't know why. I just wanted to keep one that was more flat. And the last page I did in there, was this one? This way. This is my wax paper that I used to separate my pages, and it turned out so neat. I I tore it into strips and made a frame, and then just practiced some of my lettering on the inside. Didn't take very long. It was very neat. I love this journal. Pages are nice cardstock. What else did I want to talk about? I wanted to tell you about my word for this year. Apparently that's a thing. I didn't know that until the year turned over. Excuse me. And I decided on the word purpose for 2016. A lot of the pictures that I post on Instagram are of my art journal, or that I post in the crafters community are my art journal. And purpose is my word for this year. I find myself floundering a lot, putting on different hats. Sometimes I'm a mom. Sometimes it's the wife hat. Sometimes it's the artist hat. Sometimes it's the manager hat. Sometimes it's, all of them at the same time. That can happen as well. I struggle because I don't go to an office or a studio outside of my home to figure out what my purpose is for the time that I have in this life that I'm very, very grateful to have been given the opportunity for. So I wanted to explore the idea of purpose. I am using a couple of different tools to help guide me. I'm looking at Bible passages that deal with the word purpose. I'm looking at some books by authors that I greatly appreciate, some philosophers that I appreciate, and really examining the idea of making the best of what I've got now, living in the moment, no day but today. And that has been so far so good. I haven't run into anything that was, a watershed moment or anything that was this great big thing yet. And I may. We've got 11 months left in the year, so we'll see kind of how that goes. And I invite you to come along with me. What's your word? Tell me what your word is if you've picked one. Leave it in the comments. And that's pretty much all for now. One other exciting thing. I almost forgot. I was glad to learn that I had been selected for the Canvas Court Brands design crew this year, and I've gotten a few products from them to start playing with. I'm very excited about that, but I'm not sure what to do. Do I make a video about it? Do I make my thing and just take pictures of it? I'm going to post this video on the blog on my website. I'm also going to post it on my YouTube channel. That's nice. Have a video out there for everybody to see while I'm adjusting my bra strap. That's classy. In my 9,000-year-old Lollapalooza t-shirt. I'm classy. This is why I can't have nice things. Anyway. Canvas Corp website. I got to follow my train of thought every day, people. Every day. I'm going to update my website. Some of the pictures on there are not what I do anymore. They're ancient pictures. I'm trying to take better pictures. I have a light box. I have to haul stuff upstairs where there's natural light to take picture. Better pictures, better blogging. Part of my purpose for this year, part of everything that the griffin represents. If you don't know what a griffin is, they're mythological creatures that are part eagle and part lion. They're said to bring good luck. Mine is inspired directly by the author Nick Bantock. If you've never read any of Nick's books, I encourage you to do so. Check if your library has some. I'm a big fan of the public library. Places like Half Price Books, which we don't have in Lubbock. I go to Half Price Books if I get to Houston or if I get to Dallas, or Austin or somewhere. We don't have one here. Half Price Books your local library. They're all available on Amazon. He has a wonderful series of books called the Griffin and Sabine series. And the gentleman in the book, his name is Griffin. And Mr. Bantock incorporates his mixed media art uh, in this book of an epistolary style. It's letters written back and forth between Griffin and Sabine, and sort of an art journey and how that unfolds. He's got some other books, and they're all wonderfully weird, ethereal, existential. One of them is downright bizarre. But the artwork in them is fantastic, even if the story isn't the most compelling. I've been a fan since high school. My stepmother introduced me to Mr. Bantock, and it's a play on Griffin's name, and that's where Griffin art came from. Yeah, I got nothing else. I think I'm good. Leave a comment. Love to hear from you. I'll be back next week with another art chew, and hopefully this week we'll have a project video go up. Have a wonderful day. Remember to give love.